Alright, so Apple just announced the iPhone SE and we're all very excited, and today I'm going to give you the specs so you can know what you are buying if you are getting into the iPhone SE. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. But before we get started, guys, if you're an Apple fan, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and also hit the like button, and do all those things even if you're not an Apple fan, because on this channel it's all tech, everything, no exclusions. So let's get right into it. Alright, so let's talk about the price. It comes in at $400 for the base model, which is 64 gigabytes, and then has a 128 gigabyte model, and then the most expensive model is at $549 for 256 gigabytes of storage, not RAM, sorry, storage, and that's pretty good. So let's see what else we get for it. So for $400 we get somewhat bad hardware and very good software. So we're gonna start off with the dimensions of the iPhone SE. So the dimensions are 5.45 inch by 2.65 inch by 0.29 inches. So that's the footprint of the iPhone SE. For all of you viewers who are using the metric system, that's 138.4 by 67.3 by 7.3 millimeters. Just for you guys who are using the metric system, I'm in the US, the rest of the world uses the metric system, and yes, the US is still using inches, and I think it's the imperial system. Anyways, so let's move on to the weight. It weighs 148 grams or 5.22 ounces. It has a glass front, a glass back, and the reason for its weight being so low is because it's using an aluminum frame, and also it doesn't have that many components, and also a bigger battery. Alright, so it has IP67 dust and water resistant for 30 minutes at 1 meter. And well, that's about all for the dimensions, the body, all of the specs you need for the hardware. Alright, so let's get on to the software. The operating system is iOS 13, and they're using their A13 Bionic 7 nanometer chip, which is very powerful. It's the same one they use in the iPhone 11 Pro Max, which is technically the same one they use in the iPhone 11 Pro, and it's a very good chip, very fast. And obviously it's faster than all of Qualcomm's chips, the Exynos, because Apple, as we know, have very powerful chips. That's really good for anyone who's gonna buy the iPhone SE. It's a hexa-core CPU. I'm not sure what the rest of that stuff is supposed to mean. And the GPU, Apple is using the Apple GPU. Alright, as for memory, it has no card slot, which kind of sucks, because if you have the base model, it would be nice to have extra storage through an SD card, but obviously Apple are enticing you guys to use the iCloud. Obviously I know nothing of that. I'm a Samsung user. I actually use the Galaxy Note 9 as my daily driver, and that's the problem. However, if you do have more money in your pocket, you can buy the 256 gigabyte model or the 128 gigabyte model. All three models, 64 gig, 128 gig, and 256 gig, all have 3 gigabytes of RAM. So obviously your phone isn't going to be very fast. But obviously Apple intends for you to use their ecosystem, and they're all NVMEs. As for the main camera, guys, it's a single 12 megapixel f1.8 wide with optical image stabilization. It features a dual LED flash, so I'm not sure, is it bright, is it not? I haven't tested it out. Obviously Apple didn't send it to me. And the video films at 4K for 24, 30, or 60 frames per second, and then it also films at 1080p for 30, 60, 120, or 240 frames per second, which is pretty good. All right, so let's get on to the selfie camera. It's a single 7 megapixel f2.2 aperture camera. You can get some, I don't know, decent photos with it, and I'm pretty sure the software is going to make them look better. It features face detection and, let's see, HDR and panorama. For the video, it has 1080p at 30 frames per second, and it's fixed at 30 frames per second. You can't have more than 30 or less than 30. So that's a bummer, but yeah, that's what you get for $400. Loudspeaker, it uses stereo speakers. Sadly, there's no 3.5mm jack, which, I mean, come on, Apple, you could have at least put it in for how cheap the phone is. Well, not cheap, I mean, not cheap in quality, but cheap price, you know, very low price. But obviously they didn't put it in. All right, so let's get on to the display. It is a 4.7-inch Retina LCD touchscreen, obviously, display. And also, for you people using the metric system, it's a 60.9 centimeters squared, I guess. I'm not sure. Sadly, they're using the iPhone 8 design. So technically, the iPhone SE is an iPhone 8 with better software. The problem with this design is that it only has a 65.4% screen to body ratio. So technically, 34.6% of the phone, if you want to be exact, is just bezels. And that sucks because we're in 2020 and screens have grown huge. There are no longer thick bezels. Well, actually there are, because the iPhone SE is around, so we're gonna blame Apple for that. But it does have a it only has a 720p display, which, I mean, how are you supposed to watch 4K on a 720p display when you can't even get 4K? Yeah, that kind of sucks, because $400, I mean, Apple could have at least put a 1080p display, but obviously they didn't. As for the max brightness, it's 625 nits, so it's gonna be, I don't know, maybe in between. So it'll be bright, but not the best. So it'll be hard to see in direct sunlight. But yeah, that's how it was advertised. All right, so let's look at a few of the things why Apple used big and thick bezels. You obviously have the fingerprint sensor, or the Touch ID. So as for the other sensors, it has an accelerometer, oh whatever, proximity, gyro, compass, and barometer. It also has Siri if you long press on the button. Clearly, the battery is the disgrace, because we obviously know that Apple makes it really hard to fix your phone. And another problem with this is the battery is small. It only has 1,821 milliamp hours. Very small. That's not even as much as they had in the XR, so that's small. And when I mean small, it's probably gonna last you like what, 6 hours of the day. It's not gonna get you through the day. This is more like a collector phone, so take that into consideration if you're going to be buying this. However, it does have fast charging, and you get to 50% in 30 minutes, and technically to 100% in 1 hour. But that differs because charging slows the fuller you get on your battery. It does have wireless charging, Qi wireless charging, and that's pretty good. As for the colors, it's a black, a white, and a red model. That's all you get, but obviously it's really just enough. And if you're a person who is just wanting to get a good device that will work for the software and you don't want to pay as much, well then obviously that's good, because this phone has it. But as I said, the battery is small, the hardware is bad, the screen is only 720p, it's small. Well, it's not my choice if you guys are going to buy it or not. I gave you guys my opinion and I gave you the specs, so it's your choice on whether you're going to buy this phone. And that's about all for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and also turn on the notifications so you'll be aware when my next video comes out. So that's about it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.